All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right, guys. So let's get into it. We had a bit of a watch list yesterday, and actually, the one that I traded, and again, the power of having a community and several people watching different things. I think it was Jaguar yesterday. He mentioned mRNA was getting towards the low at a technical level, so I was able to put that stock on because he mentioned it was not even on my secondary list, and we're able to take a good trade out of that one. And I'll share that later on a screenshot on Twitter or something like that. But again, just thank you for pointing that out. That became a great trade, one and done for me yesterday. So here, let's look at what we had yesterday. SPCE. SPCE had some potential here. Then pre-market was a little choppy towards the open. But look how great this trade and open range breakup. And I believe Andrew took this trade as well. Many of you guys in the community also took this trade. Look at the beautiful open range breakup here. A very nice pullback on this candle, which is what we like to see. That's a signal for entry on the way back up above VWAP. You can enter anywhere in here. Once you get the confirmation, this thing is not selling back down towards the low, the open of this candle or the low. Here's where you want to get in. Between this area here is where I like to look for we're getting the confirmation this is bouncing back. You can fine tune this a little bit more by looking at the 1 minute. You can see the 1 minute pulls up, comes right back down, holds these moving averages. It does dip below here, but look how it comes right back up and it closes above the moving averages. That's very important because sometimes you see these stocks that you get this wick that runs through all the moving averages and comes back up. To me, this is a very strong bullish signal here when I see something like that. All right, that means the buyers are stepping in. They don't want this thing falling below a certain point. And you can see here the next candle completely takes over, and the buyers completely take control, pushing this past the high of the day and into some 1970 level here. So again, traded very well. Beautiful open range breakup with a nice continuation here. You then have you have a pretty strong reversal engulfing on the 5 minute. So that could have been a strong signal that the trend is changing. Great entry here for a short. I don't like taking things short above the VWAP here. That would have been a difficult trade to take. But again, the technicals here are showing that the trend is reversing, and it did just that there. From there on, you do get a little run below the VWAP, and then it just gets very choppy. From here, there's ain't nothing going on here that's exciting to trade on this SPCE. And it stayed like that for the most part of the morning. Next, we had Tesla. I mean, Tesla. What can we not say about this stock?
Tesla was a beast.
Unbelievable. So again, look at the
Both
opening.
ways.
Yeah, both ways, absolutely. Look at the opening candle here. Sells down, opens up, sells down pretty bad, recovers. Has a hard time trying to stay above the VWAP. So you could have been stopped out here for a possible short. That's okay, no problem. I don't like taking stocks that are strong short anyway. Even if they go below the VWAP, you want to be very cautious with this stock. It's just been so strong. But anyways, it comes back above the VWAP, holds here. Now look at the 1 minute. The 1 minute, you can clearly tell what's happening here with the price action, right? So clearly found a level down here. Let's say you got stopped out twice here trying to take a short, whatever the case may be, you just didn't get a good entry, or even trying to take it long. Here's a great indication this thing wants to head higher, right? Basically holding this level here, gets above the VWAP. You can see the pull down here, does not want to close below the VWAP, and again it takes off. So we talk about these price action breaking through the resistance, coming back down and retesting that before they make their move. This would have been your entry here, your stop slightly below towards this moving averages over here, and look how nice this goes right towards the high of the day, and then some. So again, just been trading so amazing. Tesla has been really unbelievable to look at, and then becomes a great short. Nice double top here. You can see that the loss of momentum towards the upside, and just it starts dwindling down, and then a nice big drop all the way back down to this level. We have 579.47. IBM was another great one as well. So IBM looked like it was going to lose it. We had a big gap down here on the daily, if you guys remember that from yesterday's show, and we had this 142.80 level, and it would have been nice if this thing would have broke down here. You had a lot of room to run all the way to 141. Instead, you see the buyers are stepping in at this level of support, and right at the open, just completely takes off. Two ways you could play this. If you're a person that trades a 2 minute open range breakup, you'd have had a good opportunity here. Once this candle came right back up, that would have been a great entry. And then you could have taken this here towards the 145.94 level, which was the high of the pre-market, I believe. Comes right to that level. And then the other option you would have taken is just wait for the 5 minute, and then you can see here on the 5 minute, just zoom in a little bit. The 5 minute gives you a beautiful pullback to the moving average here, the VWAP. You could have taken it long here as well. So several ways you could have traded this, and then just kind of collapses here. It gets a little toppy at 145.80, very close to this level that we had. and then from there sells down to the VWAP. That could have been a good short. But again, these double tops, especially on the 1 minute, are very difficult to trade. I don't take these. I want to see double tops like a Tesla. This is a clean one, right? Under 5, nice double top here. That's a clean, more confirmation. Higher time frame tend to be a little more solid when it comes to these reversal plays. BYND, again, beautiful pop here, but it's just difficult to trade this stock. Although yesterday it traded very, very clean, so it drops down to this 124.11 level that we had. That is the low of our pre-market, and just amazing how these low of the pre-markets have been holding up. So look at the buyers coming in. Once this drops here, this is a signal here. Like I mentioned before, to me that is a very strong bullish signal. You see this drop coming down here. So basically, this thing opens up, heads down all the way down to 124.11, comes right back up to where it almost opened up at, right? And then the next candle completely takes off. Look at the 1 minute getting above the VWAP. You don't even get a pullback to the VWAP to get in this one. This one took off, so you had to kind of bite the bullet and not chase it a little bit, but if you waited for a pullback, you were not getting one. It completely takes off all the way to 135, and then from there, after such a big move like this, guys, you want to be very cautious in getting in long when you get a pullback like this. Here it does work out, and you're able to get a couple of bucks, but this trade here, to get in long here, that's not a good idea after you have been so extended. Look at the 5 minute candle. Look how far you're away from the VUF. So just keep that in mind. After such a strong move, the stock is going to get tired. You might get a significant pullback, or you might get a change in direction. In this case, BYND got very toppy and it dropped right back down, even past below the VWAP there. All right, we have some more. Netflix had earnings. Netflix sold off as well, becoming a great short here. Opening range breakdown. What else we had? We had NIO. NIO had a lot of volume. I believe I did have shares for short, but this one is a little weird to trade the way the price action works. It looked like it was going to take off, and then if I was not in mRNA, which I'll show you in a second, this would have been a great short here. Once it lost the low of the day, lost the VWAP. Look how nice this thing drops, going all the way down to 486. So this was nice with some really good volume yesterday. MNK, Norm, we talked about this one, and I failed to watch this one as well yesterday. And this also gave a great opening range breakdown. So this candle here, you want to be cautious because this is a bullish signal. When you see something drop like this and come right back up, you want to just be cautious. But the minute you see that the next candle opens up, cannot establish an uptrend, this is going to be a good entry for short. And just look how beautifully this thing dropped. I was watching the price action in this area, and it was trading very well. But again, I was an mRNA, and I did not take this trade. But this would have been another great short opportunity. Let's quickly look at mRNA. Wow, our gap list is pretty huge today.
Yeah, it is.
mRNA, let's take a look at that one. So here, again, guys, I took my first Rising Devil strategy, and I'll show you a screenshot of that later on today. So Brian and Thor will be very proud of me. So this thing was selling down here. You can see the pop coming all the way up. Here was the best entry anywhere in here. Unfortunately, I'm not comfortable with this strategy, so I took it very late. I took it in here for sure. It did pull back a little. Actually, around here, it did pull back a little bit against my stop, which was here, the top of this candle. But then immediately got this nice drop here, took some off here, then took the rest off here because I got really uncomfortable with this trade. It is a strategy, guys, that you really have to be very careful with. Again, it's just you have to be very fast. Again, the better entry would have been up here. I completely missed this pop here. What Brian does, which is very smart, he puts in a limit order up here and he waits for it to get filled, giving him the best possible entry. So something I have to practice. But again, this turned out very well, and all because someone mentioned in the chat room that at the pre-market levels, it was getting towards the lows here, creating a good technical indication. So thank you, Jaguar, for that, for mentioning that possibility of the mRNA. All right, what do we have, Norm, in regards to the SPY? What do we have going on today?
SPY down just shy at 0.2% this morning. I think this is a little bit of a expected pullback. Sorry, I just had a pop-up come up. A little bit of an expected pullback this morning. We've got the coronavirus issue going on in China that is continuing to build and causing markets to drop in Asia. So that's a little bit of what's going on there. Economic data, we had weekly jobless claims come in essentially in line with what was expected just a little bit earlier. We've got some economic indicators coming out at 10 a.m. Not much other than that there. And then, of course, we're in full swing with earnings. So that's what we got this morning, buddy.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Norm. All right, folks. So let's see what we have. We have a huge gappers list here today. I mean, this thing has a lot going on. So let's run through this and see what we can get out of it this morning. Let's start with NVAX. Now, this one we had in our gappers list before, up another 7.3%. I think this one's gapping up as well, right? Yeah, gapped up huge over 2 days ago, and then sold off here. And today, what do we have? Let's get our 5-minute chart here. Here we go. All right, so we have 678,000 shares traded right now. Okay, pre-market activity. Again, it's just one of those stocks that's very weird. So let's see how it traded yesterday, actually. Let's just take a look at what the price action was. So you did have a lot of volume here. You did get a nice drop, a nice pop towards the VO. So it kind of played around here in this sector. And then you got this huge drop towards the afternoon, mid afternoon. You got a beautiful drop down here. So again, I'm not sure about these stocks. They tend to be a little more difficult to trade. I think the float on this one, it's not a low float, but it's 26 million shares float, lower price. So just want to be cautious. But again, they got a great pre-market activity today. I got to give them that. And they again, they have a good continuation possibly today, up 8%. It could be could go both ways here. It could be bouncing back from this levels that it has here, or it could be continuing down to close this gap even more. So right, remember, this thing gapped up all the way up here, and look how much reach it had on 2 days ago, and then the gap down again yesterday in the nice sell-off. So we'll see what it does today. We'll keep it on here. Not one of my favorite type of stocks to trade or watch, but we'll see how that plays out. STM is one I believe is a foreign stock, doesn't trade very well. Yeah, it is. So again, I'm just gonna skip this one. We have plenty on our list today that hopefully could look better. PCG hasn't been in our list for a while. Now, this is a stock that I will not swing trade. Want to be very cautious swing trading this type of stuff. But here we do have pre-market activity is not all that great, but that tends to happen with PCG. Their pre-market activity tends to be a little bit choppy, a little bit flat for the most part, with some good volume, and we're seeing that today again. This is up 6.1. Just amazing. This thing was traded at $3.56 here, made its way back up to 13, right, in a matter of a 3 month period here. So at the moment, we got a possible breakout from some of these levels here. We've been consolidating between 1250 and 1350. That was the last area of resistance here. And again, it might want to close this small gap down that we had here back in August, I believe. So interesting, definitely worth watching. We'll keep it on here. Next, we have ELAN. There we go. ELAN. This one, what do we have here? So 289, up 3.1. Pre-market activity is looking okay. Hopefully starts to get better as the volume starts coming in here. So this candle just has 145. So that's a lot of volume right now for this stock. So let's see how that gets a little bit later. Daily chart looks okay. I'm not a fan of some of this action I see right on here. We do have a beautiful takeoff here in the last couple of days. So we have been getting some activity, some movement out of this with some more expected volume than usual. So that's good. But again, just not a fan of this one at all. Nor any on these on here, any significant news?
The Elan is it's on news of a increased secondary offering, and the stock is up. So it's a little weird, but I'm not quite sure what's going on other than that.
Oh, okay, so there's a possible secondary offering on this one.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, it's not possible. They had a secondary and they
Oh, they
increased its
had it.
size, is what happened.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So then, usually, guys, that type of news does not trade very well from our experience. So I'm going to just throw this down here, just so we could take a look at it later, but most likely not one that I'm going to have on my list, especially when we have some other ones on here like MUJD. Nice. Billy, we have traded before in the past very well. LK has been doing pretty good, and we'll take a look at some of these other ones. Let's head down to WDC. So WDC at the moment, what do we have here? Now this one is up 101,000 shares traded, up 3.1% this morning. We had a bit of a consolidation happening here. Now this one, if it's in play, can trade very well. Overall, is a very choppy stock and very difficult to trade. But this morning they're up nicely, breaking out of this area of resistance here between this consolidation. So that's always a good sign when a stock can do that. Any news on WDC?
I haven't looked it up. This one just popped into the gappers, so
Mm.
I'll find out and give you a heads up in just a minute.
Yep, no worries, man. We'll come back to that one. So right now they're looking pretty
They
good.
got they got an upgrade out of they got an upgrade out of Morgan Stanley, equal
Mm,
weight to overweight, and moving the price target to $88. What's
okay.
going on there?
All right, so we got a nice upgrade here. Again, pre-market not looking great. Usually this one doesn't have a great pre-market activity. We have traded this one quite a bit in the past. When it does have some news, it can trade very well. So we'll definitely look forward to see how the pre-market continues to develop on on WDC. So MU continues to break new highs here. We had an area where it kind of stalled out a bit, but again, it is after having a great big move. So look at the moves that it's been having here. A nice big pop, gapping up here a couple of 2 weeks ago, I believe. And then here you had this resistance. We broke out of that 2 days ago. It did not do much yesterday, but today again we're breaking highs, recent highs again here on MU. So could be worth watching. We got some good volume already, 442,000 shares traded on MU. That's a lot of volume for MU. So I definitely want to keep this one on watch. Actually, and I believe it was yesterday. I was oh no, the day before. Look how great this thing traded the day before. I was talking with somebody on YouTube and just look how nice and clean this was. Unfortunately, we did not have this on our watch list that day. I was joking around that it seems like when we do not have MU on our watch list, it trades extremely well. And we saw that 2 days ago. So let's keep it on watch. Volume is great right now, up 2%. Definitely one that is going to be on my list. Here we have JD. JD could be a hit or miss. It's one of those stocks that can surprise you and trade well or be very choppy. You know, it's on both extremes. It's never a stock that you can say, we'll get something out of it. It can be so very difficult to watch. But right now, the volume is okay, 181. Their pre-market is not great, which is usually the case on JD. Their daily was great yesterday. Had a nice big pop here yesterday, but now it's kind of back into this area where it was kind of consolidating and just chopping around. So we might get some of that chopping around today. Maybe we have some room to go down towards this 39.50, which is the bottom of this consolidation where we have some good support. That could be a good area to take this for sure. We'll watch that one to see how that gets as it goes later. Next we have BPMC. BPMC. So this one down 2%. Oh, this is a nasty daily. Not sure what kind of stock this is, but this is a very choppy.
And
Yeah.
this is BPMC is a biotech company,
Mm.
but just a heads up that MU is also an upgrade out of Morgan Stanley, so they upgraded WDC and MU this morning.
Oh, nice, nice. Definitely worth watching those two with that type of catalyst, especially because they've been doing so well on top of that too, right? They've been very strong. At least MU has.
Yep.
WDC, you could say it has been stuck in this area here for some time, but MU has been ripping really nice over the last couple of months or so. So BPMC, yeah. So this one's not great, guys. It's a biotech company. I'm not a fan of these. They just don't trade very well. They're very choppy. Look at the daily, how nasty this is. So again, just not a fan of it. We'll throw it down here. But I do not really see myself trading this one today. We'll do some levels in case anyone wants to watch that type of stock, but most likely not going to be trading this one. Now, Billy, we have traded quite a bit in the past. When it has a catalyst, it can trade very well. And I like the way the daily is forming here. So we had this beautiful pop hitting up 24. Kind of got choppy in this area, but now we're kind of hitting the bottom of this consolidation support. So if we could break down from that or bounce from that, we can create a good momentum play here on Billy. So at the moment, pre-market activity is not looking great. Very choppy, so I'm not a fan of it. Volume is very light, also only 106,000 shares traded at the moment, down 2.9 this morning. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see if it gets any better. But I do like Billy because I have had a lot of success trading Billy in the past when it has hit our gappers list. TAL was active 2 days ago on this beautiful gap down here. Yesterday gave it all back, and now we're gapping down 3.5. So definitely worth watching this one to see what we can get out of it. But let's see how this actually traded. Let's just go back here and see what do we have. So yesterday, here was a sell-off. Again, without looking at the actual price action, not sure how clean this was. But had a beautiful drop and a retest of the VWAP right on this. So that was nice. It was just getting very, very weak stock yesterday. But the volume seemed to be very light. So I'm not sure how that price action actually was there. Worth taking a look at today, guys. We are gapping down again here nicely after we had a big gap down 2 days ago. So we'll see where this is going to go today. Now, No, you recall the news on this one and what caused this gap down? Is that continuation or what are we having here?
Well, they had earnings the other day, and they've just been smacked by that. In addition to the issue with all the Chinese stocks are getting hit, have been at one point or another with the coronavirus deal, but
Gotcha.
predominantly it is the earnings that they released a few days ago.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes perfect sense. All right, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Pre-market activity is not looking great. Again, has probably a couple of block trades creating that 325,000 shares traded, but we'll see if this can get any better. All right, let's head over down to where we left off. TAL. Okay. LK, see what we have here on LK. So LK, wow, nice gap down on LK here, 4% after having a really bad day yesterday. So this could be exciting. We do have shares for short. This could be a good one to watch today, guys. Again, pre-market activity, very choppy. But LK, if we look at every single day that we had here, LK has had a pretty crappy pre-market activity the last couple of days. I believe it was this day or this one that actually had a great, beautiful pre-market activity. But overall, this is typical of LK to have this type of action. So they're down 4.3 this morning after having a bloodbath day yesterday, getting back a couple of days of run here. We do have some good levels we can have on this daily chart as well on LK. So definitely like that one today. One of the ones that looks very good this morning right now. BL BLDP. This one is also gapping down. I'm not sure what kind of stock this is. We're down 9.5, 143,000 shares traded. Um,
It's a Canadian company that works on fuel cells. Andrew actually used to work for them.
oh, okay.
The news keeps coming up. This keeps popping up, and I'm not sure. I have not seen any specific news. So
Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, I don't not seeing anything great right now. We got some volume on it. Yeah, I was gonna say Casper the same thing. If Andrew used to work for them, he's not there no more. Let's short it, right? They definitely lost a good guy. So yeah, let's keep an eye on it. I'm not a fan of it right now. But let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what it does. If it can get some volume. BLDP. We'll throw that on there. Next we have AGTC. AGTC. Whoops. AGTC. Let's throw that on here. See what we got. So AGTC 370,000. Oh, this is a horrible daily chart. Again, not a fan of this daily chart, guys. This is just not clean at all. It looks like a penny stock. What's the float on this? It's 18 million shares float. So again, it's on the lower side. This does not look good at all, guys. Daily wise, I mean, how do we find your levels on here? And just not sure how this actually trades in the intraday. Let's look at it. What it did yesterday. It moving with no volume. Look at this. At the open, barely had any volume. It did get some towards the end. Here, you did get a little bit of volume, but again, this type of stock, I'm just gonna stay away from. This looks just very crappy on the daily. It has a decent pre-market activity. Just look at the pre-market activity alone. This is not a bad pre-market activity. This is some great volume. This is down 30%, so that's good also. But again, just not sure on this stock. We'll throw it down here in the pile of misfits, just to see what we can if it can get any better indication. But right now, this daily doesn't look all that good. And I just don't like the way the intraday was a couple of days ago on this one here. All right, did we cover everything here on this list? Baba is up here. Baba is joining the gappers list. Nice gap down on Baba. Baba is good. Very nice gap down. So let's get Baba in on this top list here. So we do have a beautiful pre-market activity, some really good volume, down 2%. We're holding at an area of a prior resistance right on here, 217. Has been creating a support. So definitely like the way that's going this morning. Norm, is this part of the Chinese news as well, or something separate going on Baba?
Uh, Baba, I think this is Chinese news as well. I haven't seen anything additional to it
Yep.
on it
All right.
this morning.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I like the way that's trading today, and actually, that's a really good pre-market activity for Baba because they usually do not trade that well. So I like the way that pre-market activity is looking right now. All right, guys. Norm, what do you like? We have a huge list today. What do you have besides this on your watch this morning?
I think I'm going to predominantly be watching Tesla today.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of downgrades on that as of this morning. So kind of interesting news. And it's popped up here in the last few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's got this thing popped up, but it got a couple of downgrades, and that's it so far. I'm running a little bit behind this morning, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. It's all good. I was running a little bit behind myself today as well. It's just one of those days that happens. BYND. This one. Let's take a look at BYND. It could be interesting. We do have shares for short. Not sure how much we have. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. That'll be gone at the open. So, um, yeah. So this could be interesting as well. Let's remove some of these levels because we do have the highs and lows creating some good support and resistance right on there already. But this could be a good one to watch also. Um, all right, guys, what do you guys like on your end? That is not already on this list. I know a lot. We have a lot on here already. Not all is going to stick there. There's some stuff that does not look good at all. CMCA, one that we have traded in the past. This is very active this morning. 1.1, 533,000 shares traded. Definitely worth watching. What's the news on this one, guys? You have any news of what's going on?
They had earnings this morning. They had a beat. I'm guessing they're getting, and talk about companies people used to work at. I used to work at this one. Um, so I'm guessing their conference call is going on right now.
Hmm.
Not sure what's been said because they beat on their earnings.
Gotcha. And then here, SPCE is definitely a worth a look as well. Possible continuation. They got some good volume, 1.2 this morning, and they just been ripping, man. They were stuck here at 16. They took off 2 days ago, and yesterday they had another pop as well, breaking. These are, I don't believe, I think they're all-time high as well, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, I think they're all-time high. I'm not gonna go back. At least 52-week high looks like. So yeah, definitely worth looking at this morning. Got some weird action going on here in the pre-market, but again, they got some really good volume trading today. So definitely worth watching. This one looks very active this morning. Let's take a look at what else we have. TER, and then we'll look at PayPal. TER this morning. I love the pop here, and we actually have traded TER before in the past, about a year ago, I believe. Um, Again, it has a nice pop here, up 8.3. The volume is not quite there yet, so I'm not gonna add it on just yet. But like yesterday, if you guys see something good here, closer to the open, definitely throw it back at me, and then we'll take a look at it. Let's look at PG. What do we have as far as PG? So PG is kind of like again one of these Morgan Stanley companies. They don't trade very well, guys. I have not had great success trading PG.
Yeah.
It's
They don't. PG doesn't move a lot. I mean, this is
Yeah,
Procter and Gamble. It's a
yeah,
massive blue chip company, and it's just not something that usually trades very well. It doesn't move very much either. It's
yeah,
the other
yeah.
problem with it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stay away from this one. We have a huge list, but we have quite a bit on here that is looking a little bit better than that one. Let's look at American Airlines AAL this morning. Very choppy daily here, as we have discussed. We discussed yesterday when it had gap down. We were looking at this one as well. Has a good pre-market activity though. For the type of stock it is, this is a great pre-market activity, so definitely has some potential. But I don't like the fact that it's just kind of stuck within this levels of consolidation. On a regular day when we did not have this much on here, we would definitely look at Apple. So for that, I'm going to throw it here as a possible. If we go through this and we X out a lot of these, we can see if we can put Apple on the list. So thank you, David from Connecticut. We'll take a look at that. GE is one that again doesn't move much, so we're not going to put this on our list just now. It's one of those stocks that again it could be very difficult to trade. You could be sitting here and only get 20 cents out of a move. And I prefer not to go in 3,000 shares on something, to get a smaller move, right? It's just not my style. It's a little bit more difficult to manage the psychology part of it when you have that many shares and you're waiting for, a 10, 15, 20 cents move, right? It's the same thing as taking 500 shares and getting a 50 cents move. But for some reason, it's just easier to trade, 500 shares and get a 50 cents move than trade 3,000 shares and get a 5 cents move, 10 cents move. For some reason, it's just very different, but it probably comes out to the exact same, risk management, right? SLM looks like no, it's not a foreign. It doesn't look foreign, but has a nice gap here, 22%, 211. I love this pop up here, but the dailies is a little weird with some of these wicks are very long here, so I'm concerned with that. But this pop looks great, guys. Not a fan of the pre-market activity right now. At the moment, it looks very choppy, looks very light. Also, I'm not seeing where this volume is. Where's this volume right now? 211,000 shares traded. So I'm just gonna skip on that one for the moment. Um, let's do a few more since we're running a little bit late here. FCX, we'll do that one. This one is see, this is a good gap down because we're leaving some of these levels here. So this is a good one. Up, down 3.9, 250,000 shares trade. This could be a good one to watch today. So I'm gonna add This one down here, and this will be the last one I add because I have way too many. So that'll be the last one we add on here. Let's go over to announcements. We're gonna come back. We're gonna go through this entire list, take out whatever looks pretty crappy, has no volume, doesn't look great, and good pre-market activity, and then we're gonna just fine tune this as much as possible. All right, Noah, let me get you over to announcements.
Yeah, while you pull that up, I'm gonna fly through this because we've got a massive gappers list today. So, guys, it's not on the website or anything anymore, but if you need to use the promo code holidays19, it'll be going away soon. You can use it for a 40% off lifetime one-time payment membership. Dash replay feature is live. We've been talking about it a lot. They're in the forum. Carlos has put a post up and a video describing how it works, how to use it, and such. Andrew's going to start using it maybe for some recaps or some other educational materials as well. So you can only right now get that with the BBT version of the DAS simulator. If you get DAS simulator through us, it'll be released to other people soon, or brokerages, IB and such. Upcoming webinars. I still have last night's on there. I just wanted to outline that was open to everybody. If you were unable to make the webinar, excuse me, the success webinar with chart log guys last night, it is going to be available if it's not already, probably today, maybe tomorrow in the media center. All these are recorded. If you can't make them, they're generally Wednesday at 8 p.m. at night. They will move around. Then next week, Wednesday, we'll have Naz and Andrew discussing day trading options. On February 5th, Jonathan Katz, a trading psychologist, he'll be discussing mental prep and routine. 2/12, February 12th, mark your calendars down. I believe it's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm not 100% on that yet, but it should be on the 12th. Mike Bellafiore with SMB Capital has been nice enough to agree to do a success webinar with us. So check that out. And then we'll have a two-part webinar with Ed Martin of Average Joe Trading discussing trend trading. Upcoming meetups, Andrew is looking to try to go to Dubai in February. Doesn't have an exact date or location yet, but if you check out the forums where AB will post the link, get in there and try to figure out a date with them. If you're watching us on YouTube, would like to try out the room, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code premarket24. That's premarket24, no hyphens, spaces, and premarket with the numbers 24 to get a discount for a week in the chat room. Does not renew or turn into a different kind of membership. One other thing, guys, Trade Ideas. ABL is going to throw up a link. Trade Ideas is doing their next test drive, 2 weeks of Trade Ideas for $8.99. So you can follow the link that ABL will post up, sign up for that. It's going to be February 3rd through 14th. So you can go ahead and sign up now. Be sure to get the full 2 weeks for your $8.99. That is it. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Norm. Okay, folks, let's go through this giant list. All right, so let's look at NVAX. So this is one that, again, is not a low flow, but it's 26 million shares, so it's on the lower side. So for that reason, I'm just going to move it aside. Again, it's one of those stocks I prefer not to watch when we have some other stuff going on here. So I'm going to delete this one, guys, off the list here. It is on short selling restriction on top of that as well, so it's just going to get this one out the way. PCG is a good possible, guys, because if it can break out of these pre-market highs, we do have some room to run here. We do have a possible gap that we can close, so I want to keep this on the list. WDC has a great gap up, also on an upgrade, so we'll keep this one also here. MU, I just love the way MU has been trading lately. Has great volume already early on this pre-market, so we'll keep that one. JD, I'm going to take off. JD, I'm going to take off. Has a good gap down here, but is gapping down into an area of possible consolidation where it has been before. It did a nice move yesterday. This thing, the fun could be done. It could just chop around here. And again, it's a stock that could be a hit or miss. This is one that we can look forward to hit in our gapless list. Billy, I like, guys, because we're somewhat losing this area of support here. Pre-market activity is not all that great. This is kind of like on a two-tier right here. These ones will be good. Like PCG is a good one, WDC is good, MU is good. Billy's like a second from good, not all that great right now, so it might not make the final list, but I do like the way the daily's setting up. TAL, horrible pre-market activity, guys. It's got some volume, 325. I love the gap down here, but just the pre-market's not looking great. So, but this could be a good secondary if it can get some volume. I do like the way this is dropping there. We'll throw it down here as a possible secondary to watch this morning, but we'll remove it from our main list. LK, I like LK, guys. Also a nice, beautiful drop here. LK has been trading very well, so this could be good here. Holding on barely to this area of support on this, the low of this date here. Moving average, so we'll keep this one on the list. BLDP, this one, I'm not sure on, guys. Down 10%, could be a good one. Could be a good possible. I'm going to throw it down here next to TAL. BLDP, we'll throw it on here. We'll make some room. Nope, wrong one here. There it is. All right. So we'll remove it from this list here for now. Again, could be a good one, which is we can't watch that many. Baba, I love. Great pre-market activity, great action. Nice gap down here, 2% almost. So definitely worth watching. Tesla, we definitely have to watch this one. This one's been very good. I got a downgrade this morning, so we'll see how that reacts. This thing has not cared much about any downgrades.
Two downgrades.
Two downgrades. So it doesn't care much about two downgrades or upgrades lately. It's just been going northeast here. It does not really care. So we'll see how that does here. BYND also must watch. Selling down here, I think it has a nice double top on the daily. As weird as it looks, that's a nice rejection of 135 again 2 days ago. I'm sorry, a week ago, and then yesterday. So we'll see if we're going to go back down and test this 110 again, this area here. So definitely worth watching. CMC SA, this one, I'm on the fence on that one. We'll keep this one a space. Man, they so many look great, guys. All right, we'll do levels for these here, and then we can fine tune this even further. All right, so PCG, guys, I think we have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You really don't need to add any more levels on this one, guys. So the only level I'm going to add is above here, the bottom of this gap down, right in this area here. That's the only thing I'm going to mark down, which is 1460. So we'll mark that there. Other than that, you have plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and previous day close. So we'll keep that one on there. WDC, we have towards the bottom plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days of all this consolidation. The high of the pre-market is at 71.30, so we'll mark that down. Then above that, what's the next level above that? 71.23, 71.30. Are we all-time high with this one? This one also has an upgrade. No, we're not. Definitely not. All right, so let's go over here. The next level looks 74.48. That's pretty far out for 71.23, but that's the level we have, so we'll keep that on there. Again, not the greatest pre-market activity right now, but it has a nice upgrade and it has been breaking above this area of resistance, so that could be a good one to watch. Here's MU, guys. MU, I'm just going to mark down the high of the pre-market. 60.75. Again, MU has been very strong. Traded very clean on this day here. This would have been 2 days ago. If you look at the intraday, this was just amazing the way it traded here. Worth watching today. It has a lot of volume, up 1.8. They also have an upgrade like WDC, so we'll keep an eye on that catalyst and see how that trades this morning. Billy, what I like about Billy, if it can break down here, you know what, guys? No, I'm going to remove Billy. I like the daily, but the pre-market is not great. So I'm just going to remove this one. Let's take that one out. LK, on the other hand, has a slightly better pre-market activity. Has been very active over the last couple of days. Barely hanging on to his 48.68 level here. So I'm going to mark that down. Low of the pre-market. The next level of support could be 40.12 as it was prior resistance right on here. So I like Bailey towards the top. Plenty of levels. You don't need to mark any more up there. And then towards the bottom, you can also mark down 36.32. So mark that down there as well on LK. Again, LK has been trading very well. We do have shares for sure. Looking forward to that one. Here is Baba, guys. Baba has a great pre-market activity and some really good volume. So I'm definitely going to mark down the low of the pre-market sitting at 217.49. Then below that, we do have an area here, 214.13, and then the last one here at 210.97. So again, plenty of levels of support towards the bottom created by this nice daily chart here. When the daily chart trades well, you can find support and resistance levels very, very easily. Above that, you have your high of your pre-market very close to the low of 2 days ago, plus the previous day close and highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, creating some good resistance up here. So you only need to mark down these levels towards the bottom. Here is Tesla. Looking forward to what Tesla's going to do today. Look at this nice pop here around, seems to be 840 or so. Levels already set for you. Do not need to add anything more. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close basically covering the high of the pre-market. Don't add any more on this. This is exactly what you need. This is the all-time high here. So again, there's going to be no levels within this area. Just keep it the way it is, and we'll see how that trades today. BYND, same situation, guys. Do not need to add any more levels. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days already on here. Previous day close covering the high of the pre-market. You might want to add this level here, 115.21. You have several days opening, closing, and bouncing from that 115.21, so definitely mark that down. The pre-market low looks like it's going to continue here, so I won't mark it just yet, we'll keep an eye on that and see how that turns out. CMCSA, this one looks good. We'll do some levels, but I'm gonna reduce my list. I only watched 6 stocks, so although we're doing levels for all of this here, I'm not gonna watch everything on here. 46.27, low of the pre-market. Below that, you have a beautiful level at 45.61. Be on the lookout for this moving average on the daily. But 41.61, 45.61, a perfect level of support and resistance right on there. SPCE, worth watching, guys. Highs and lows from the last 2 trade days already on here. Do not need to add anymore, but do add this high of the pre-market sitting all the way at 20.94. We had a great trades from you guys, and I believe Andrew as well yesterday on this one. Turned out pretty nice, so definitely worth watching this morning. See if we can get some kind of continuation. As you can see, this thing has been ripping once it left 16. Has had a very nice run. Today we're gapping down quite a bit, but we'll see if that's going to hold or if we're going to make another move towards the top. Guys, this is our list. Again, we have a lot going on. Today's a day where you want to fine-tune things. Maybe if you don't like trading higher price stocks, you could take out Baba, Tesla, and BYD, and you already have 6 stocks to watch. So be a little bit picky on a day like today. I'm going to hand it off to Andrew. Thank you guys for YouTube for joining us. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time.
Good morning, everyone. Carlos and Noor, thank you